What's up, YouTube? It's RS Mario, and I'm freaking hype. Okay, so yesterday at the Video Game Awards, which I totally forgot was yesterday, but at the Video Game Awards, Nintendo actually brought Legend of Zelda Wii U with, well, they didn't bring it, but they actually showed gameplay of Legend of Zelda Wii U. And of course, I forgot it came on last night. So, alright, so I'm gonna analyze the gameplay, mainly with screenshots. I will probably post up the actual gameplay footage a little bit later, but you know, I'm going to show you some screenshots I took, some specific screenshots I took from specific parts of the trailer. Sorry for the fuzziness, but this is kind of like the best one I could find, since technically the gameplay was shown on a TV. You know, the shot was kind of away from it, and it is kind of fuzzy, but it still looks awesome though. Alright, the trailer still looks, the gameplay still looks awesome. So here we go. Let's jump right into the gameplay here, shall we? Alright, so the first screenshot I have is from very early in the gameplay trailer type of thing. And you see that there's like a tower. There's like a watch tower. Like, you know, you can just climb to the top of here and just kind of like see. You know, I think this actually, in the gameplay trailer, there's actually a feature where you can actually look at, you know, suspicious objects, you know, and the suspicious objects will be red on your, you know, on your cursor, and you can actually, you know, put like a beacon on it and actually go to that object, you know, and check it out. Kind of like in Skyrim, how you put like, you know, markers on your map where you want to go to specific areas. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, now I don't know if you'll be able to fast travel to these markers. Like, say you put down a marker somewhere and then you go somewhere else, will you be able to fast travel back to that marker, or if there's fast travel at all? You know, I don't know. You know, it would be awesome if there was in this game, but you know, it's a possibility. But I think these towers, these watchtowers, are there to add to that feature. Something similar to like radio towers in Far Cry 3, but you actually take over those towers in order to like see vast distances of area. You know, and it's also a very good way for Nintendo to show off the incredible freaking draw distance of Zelda Wii U. Another thing in this screenshot is you can actually see the valley below. You know, which is, I mean, for a minute there I thought it might be Gerudo Valley, but Gerudo Valley would be like, you know, more brown, it would be more desert, more rocky, you know, but again, this game is possibly set, you know, way back before Ocarina of Time, so maybe this could be before Gerudo Valley becomes, you know, kind of dry, well, you know, kind of, you know, as rocky as it was, you know, so maybe Gerudo Valley still has a lot of plant life in it, you know, and this time, you know, since it's very early in Hyrule's creation. Also, you can see like on this side of the valley over here on the left side, you know, it is all green and plush, and over the mountain you can see that it looks like it might be a few trees, but it looks very brown over there. So maybe the Gerudo Desert is that way. You know, the next screenshot is, you know, right after, you know, he gets to the top of the mountain. They did do some jump cuts in this, so I'm thinking it took a while for them to get to where they had to go, or they probably just cut out parts where they didn't want people to see, you know, story elements, maybe glitches, because this game isn't done yet, so, you know, they cut out some stuff. But we get to this mountain here. He's at the top of this mountain, and as you see, you know, again, you know, as you go further that way, it gets more and more brown. So maybe the Gerudo Desert is that way. You know, maybe that, you know, mountain out there is, you know, Death Mountain. You know, way out there in the distance that you could possibly actually get to, which is incredible. You know, also you see the valley where you probably end up going in this. Well, they probably end up going in this gameplay. You know, you also see something out here. It's like some kind of weird rock formation out to the left side of the screen. Also, you know, you see, if you notice in the top left-hand corner, you got your, you know, the heart system is back. You know, and your energy bar is there. I don't quite know what the energy bar is. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's magic. because of course, you know, your health bar is the hearts, you know, and he has, you know, 5 hearts, so he's, you know, relatively far in the game. Alright, so this is another shot of, you know, this is another shot of him at the mountain. I caught this one when he did a kind of a little pan around. You can actually see, you know, to that side is more green areas and way more you can actually probably get to, you know, on this side of the valley, you know. So, you know, this is more green areas, you know, that you can probably get to. Alright, so next they show off the, you know, they show off the new beacon system, where you can actually, you know, look at a suspicious object or some sort of, you know, formation or whatever, and you can actually put a beacon on it, which will mark it on your map and allow you to actually, you know, find it and get to it, which is pretty cool, you know. And since the draw distance in the game is going to be so far, you can actually mark something that's actually really far away and then get to it and see what it is, you know. I mean, it's that really kind of highlights the fact that, oh, this could be a very open world game. You know, even though Nintendo kind of dialed back, you know, calling it an open world game, you know, but it looks like it's going to be a very open world game. It actually reminds me a lot of Skyrim or Far Cry, you know. Now, maybe what they're saying as far as not being an open world game, I think they might be confusing open world with open-ended. So, you know, there are open world games that still have, you know, fairly linear stories. Like Skyrim's story is still fairly linear, you know, as far as you gotta complete this quest and this quest and this quest and this quest in order to get, you know, from, you know, to get through the story, you know. But the game is, you know, very open. You know, you can still just kind of do what you want. You don't have to do the story missions right now. You can play the game for hours upon hours and not do the story. Kind of like my Skyrim Let's Play. Run and gun, yeah! Yeah! Oh, in the face, like he's dead, done. You know, so yeah, you know, I just had to plug it. Come on, I had to plug it. It's my Let's Play, man. Come on. But yeah, next screenshot here. Just some suspicious things here. You know, like there's a rock formation that seems to be around like maybe an altar or some kind of like circle of light on the ground. Don't quite know what that is. And I mean, it could be something we see later in the trailer, but I don't think that's the case, because those rock formations are actually in that foresty area, and there's no forest down there. That's actually rocky valley area, so that could be something important to the story. Don't know. The next one we see is another rock formation. This one seems to be rocks that are like stacked on top of each other. The reason I picked this out is because, you know, it's you know, it turned red. Like the marker, your cursor turned red, and your cursor only turns red, you know, if there's something that you can actually put a marker on, which means it has some sort of importance. You know, so is it involved in the story in some way? Is there a dungeon nearby that area? I don't know, but it's something. You know, that stack of rocks means something to the game. Alright, so going on through the screenshots, we have here, there's another tower in the distance. That's not the tower that you actually selected back in the, that E.G. Ayanuma picked up back in the earlier part of the gameplay. There's another tower, you know, that's possibly that big, like, windmill looking tower with the fan on it from the trailer we saw back at E3. Because it seems to be extremely tall, and it seems to be kind of important where it is, you know. So maybe Hyrule Field is back that way, and you're way far away from Hyrule Field. Maybe this is North Hyrule, you know. But yeah, you know, there's another tower in the distance that you can probably even get to if you can get past these mountains and such. Let's see, next screenshot. Next screenshot. All right, so we have here. This one is a better shot of the valley. You know, you get to see more of the valley, more of that tree, that foresty area you get to see later in the gameplay. You also get to see the lake, which you're going to see in the gameplay as well. You know, in the very far distance, you can see, like, out that way, you can see more mountains. And something else I can't really make out because it's kind of fuzzy. But, you know, it might be a tree, it might be some sort of building. I can't really make that out, you know, but it seems to be something, a light coming from something in the distance in the valley. I have a small theory of what that could be later in the video. Next screenshot is, Link gliding on the little gliding cloth thing from Skyward Sword. The reason I picked this one out is you can see a lot of stuff here in the valley. Like there's a rock formation right here, you know, that it looks like it could be a bridge or a wall or something, you know, something else that could be relevant to the story, or it could just be something you could find and explore. Let's see what else you can see here. In the distance, you can see that there's another tower. Maybe that's the tower we saw earlier, but there is another tower in the distance, you know. So there's a lot to explore here. Like this is a vast area. This is insane, you know. Of course, you know, Nintendo again showing off the draw distance and the power of the Wii U with this mist effects and all this kind of. This is awesome, man. This game's gonna be incredible. Alright, next screenshot, we get kind of low, we can finally get into the valley, you know, so they're running, this is the lake area we saw earlier, you know, in the screenshot from actually up on the mountain, you know, so, I thought this, when I first looked at this, I thought this might be Lake Hylia, but I doubt it. I don't think it's Lake, I think this is another, you know, body of water completely. We're in, you know, that hilly area, that tree area, the forest-like area. Alright, so in here we get to see now, you know, that he's riding the horse and he's whipped out his arrow, his bow. We actually get to see the arrow counter. You know, so you actually have a specific amount of arrows. You can run out of arrows in this game. You know, kind of like in Skyrim and other games that use arrows, you can run out of arrows. We also see in the bottom right hand corner, we see the horse controls. I don't know if they're going to be there in the actual game, or is this something there, you know. I seriously doubt Eiji Aonuma would need horse controls on screen, since he is making the game, you know, like, oh, I need, you know, a little control thingy so I can map all the controls for me. You know, maybe, you know, this is the first time you meet Epona, you know, in the game, and, you know, this is, you know, how you control them. But, I don't know, you know, but, you know, of course, L actually probably moves Epona in various different directions. I don't quite know what A does. A might actually whip out your equipment, either your bow or your sword and shield, which you can whip out on the when you're riding Epona, or it could be for jumping. But from what I believe, I think Epona will probably jump by herself, similar to how she does in Ocarina of Time. You know, she actually, when you get to an obstacle, she jumps herself. There's also something they talk about that just don't run into trees. So, you know, Epona will probably, you know, turn and, you know, avoid obstacles by herself without, you know, you having to actually navigate her. And of course the R button is there. R button is probably, it's a trigger button, so it's probably to shoot your arrows. Next screenshot. Alright, so we've got this one. This one interests me, man. This was one of the most interesting ones to me. And it shows off a rock formation with those same squiggly lines and like swirls and things. The same kind of carvings you would see you see on the other rock formation we saw in the E3 trailer, as well as on the robotic creature that's trying to kill Link. You know, in the trailer, you know, we get a pretty good, you know, so these rock formations, these carvings are significant in some way. Alright, so in order to keep this video from getting way too long, I'm gonna stop right here and cut it into two pieces. So this is the first part of the video. Check out part 2 for the finish, for at least me continuing to analyze screenshots from the trailer. Also watch out, I'm gonna post the trailer itself on here eventually. So like, comment, subscribe, and watch part 2.